For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler. It's time for another edition of the Cory Kephart Show. Currently joined by Wheeling University head swimming coach Cory Kephart. And Cory, you guys start the season off strong with two different meets, one at the West Virginia State Games and then last week at the Notre Dame College and Salem Tri-Meet. Talk about these first two and what you've seen from your team.
Well, as I mentioned in our first show, a lot of new stuff here. So it was our first meet in West Virginia, first meet down at Salem in a dual meet. So everything's really pleasing so far for the effort that we're getting. We mentioned we wanted to compete. We went down and did that. So been very happy with that. Sort of getting back into normal this week, heading to Bethany. I want to thank everybody that helped us during us being out of our own home pool. From Lindsley, giving us some pool space, to the maintenance department getting our heater replaced and everything else. So we're just settling in and getting back to normal here a little bit. So despite all that, very pleased with everything that's gone on so far.
And you guys have faced a wide array of competitions in these first couple of meets. Some D1 teams, some D3 teams, of course some D2 teams. How has seeing all that competition helped you here in the early going?
Well, the West Virginia meet was a good meet to see what West Virginia has many different levels of swimming here. I think I touched on this a little bit in our first show, that there's always another level or step that you can get. We've seen a lot of our conference opponents, and that's sort of where we got our sights set now. Right now it's sort of we're working on what we can do as an individual, hopefully get some more swimmers in here maybe in January and for next year, and then we can start looking at a little bit wider goals of conference, West Virginia games, better showing next year, etc. Moving up there.
And looking at the individual results, a big week for Meredith Mandel. She gets a win at that tri-meet, also a third-place finish. Talk about her being the senior leader on this team and how she's doing to start this year.
Well, it's when I came in, I really just thought we had freshmen and sophomores. So with Meredith transferring in from junior college in Oregon and having that little bit of leadership, I think it does help. I haven't really asked anybody with such a small team. I've asked all of us to sort of lead the way in the way we feel comfortable with. So I haven't really put any extra pressure on her for that, but you can tell that she's that type of person where the other kids look up to and respect, and she's been working hard in practice, and it's showing at meets.
And then on the men's side, Ethan Banks, a strong showing for him in his first time out last time. He gets second place in the 1,000-yard freestyle. Talk about Ethan and what he brings to the team.
With Ethan being, he's a little bit older too, he's a junior. Unfortunately, he last minute had to be pulled out of the West Virginia games, but came down and really just coming back off of a pretty good illness, as is his teammate Nathan. I think both of our boys were sort of really still feeling the effects of some illness or whatever. And, he just came in, went right back into his, main long-distance events, which, probably wasn't the easiest thing to do, but, put up some good times, had some good races, and I think he's looking forward to Bethany now and swimming with a little bit more energy and everything else, coming off of that illness.
Currently joined by Wheeling University head swimming coach Cory Kephart. And Cory, you guys are going into a couple of straight weeks of dual meets here. How do you prepare for a dual meet as opposed to a big tournament like the West Virginia State Games, and what's your preparation looking like?
Well, all the meets early in the year sort of have the same thing. It's not really about, especially with our small numbers, it's not about win-losses or whatever. We go out. I want to see a lot of different things from a lot of different kids. So I know sort of what they prefer and what they fell into last year, but now, I'd like to see some different options. That maybe this event's something they might not have considered. Actually, talking with a couple of the kids now on some different events for our mid-season meet, which will be the real one where we're going to focus on really being prepared for that meet during the dual meet season or early this year. Outside of the challenges we had being at Lindsley and limited space or whatever, right now, these last 3 or 4 days since we got in our pool, I'm not their friend much right now, because we're putting it to them pretty hard right now because we have the ability to, And we're going to swim through Bethany, try to get as much work out as we can. So when we get to November at that Oberlin meet, we'll be able to rest up a little bit and really look for some fast times.
And you mentioned that you've seen a lot of your conference opponents over these first couple of meets. Seeing the conference and seeing what's out there, what does that tell you as a coach about this conference and how your team's going to prepare for it?
It's I've been involved in D2. D2 swimming's evolved a lot, since the early '90s when I was originally here. West Virginia has a lot of the D2 presence here, and they're definitely teams that are similar to us, which that's always good when you're not at a disadvantage, versus the tuition and that sort of stuff. So I think that one of the main goals coming in here was the conference was our first stepping stone, and I think we're going to be able to, hopefully even this year conference surprise some people. Maybe not in the overall standings, but with some individual swims, and once those start added together and we bring in more people to join this group. They've been doing a great job at helping with the recruiting. We've had some great recruits in, and I've had some great contacts. So I think we're going to be able to step in and really use the conference as a goal to, rise up there as much as we can in the next couple of years.
And finally, as you guys get ready for Bethany this week, talk about some of your goals for this upcoming meet and what you're looking for.
Well, we haven't seen the meet schedule as of yet, but I did ask for a couple of the longer distance events. So maybe we'll get to see some people in the 400 IM that wasn't offered, and possibly get our cross-country runner who got the 1,000 in on West Virginia, but they might offer the mile for her to maybe get a chance to do that as well. So different events. Going to go 200 of the stroke events, which stretches them out a little bit and falls more in line with the training that we're doing right now. So always seeing new things is what we're going to do. We'll mix the relays up a little bit, try to get see where people might fit in down the road, and just use it as a learning experience both for me moving forward and also for the kids as the possibilities of what they might be able to do to help the program down the road.
Thanks, Cory. Good luck this week. Can't wait to see you in the pool.
Thank you. Take care.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler.